Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the Spicy Ramen Podcast. Sit back, relax, and prepare to serve.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Spicy Ramen Podcast. I have JP here.
Yo.
And Shaq here.
What it do?
And this is the Mother's Day special. Yes, the Mother's Day special. Coming straight for all the anime moms out in the world that, unlike the anime dads, do what is necessary for their children. And I know we will be doing anime dads soon, but this is the anime moms special.
Yeah, mama!
And for me, I think the biggest thing with the anime moms that every director catches is there's never a way to truly show the sacrifices that mothers make for their children. Even just looking at my wife, looking at my mother, looking at my wife's mother, looking at all the women who have been centerpieces, rocks for us in the past. There's nothing to explain, describe, or truly detail the amount of effort and amount of work that is needed from the women in our lives. If you have a mother, well, obviously everyone has a mother, but if they are with you now, please make sure you send them a message, a hug, something, and just say thank you for everything that you do. But getting off my mushy moment, how y'all guys been? How's the week been going?
Straight. Just been hitting my workouts, trying to stay in as good shape as I can with all this stuff going on, not having access to gyms. And watching anime, started Haikyuu, however you say it. That one is pretty dope. Still watching Yu Yu Hakusho with my girlfriend, and she's loving it. So everything's good. And playing a lot of video games.
That's what's up. How about you, Shaq? What's going on with you?
Yeah, man, still same old stuff, working, and all that good stuff, came up with a couple of animes and everything. There's still been a couple of animes that have been, that have stopped their, airing from a couple of studios. So I know, like we mentioned in the last podcast, be aware that your favorite anime may not be, posting new episodes for a little bit due to, what's going on with the current situation and everything. I think that also includes a couple of manga as well that are not in production right now. And I think with this, they're also trying to capitalize on a couple of anime series going on to both Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, Funimation, and all that good stuff. So I think with a couple of new ones that are stopping, a lot of the studios are trying to I'm trying to make available a lot of old school animes that are fully complete, so at least you have something to watch instead of just sitting around waiting on everything. I know myself, finally caught up on Vinland Saga. Was pretty hyped on seeing that, and then I'm back to watching a couple of Gundam series as well. Besides that, man, I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know one of the series that I'm amped about that is now on Netflix, you should go check it out, is the Airbender. All of the seasons of Airbender is now on Netflix. So if you have a chance, go check and relive that wonderful anime. I think, just in reflection, I think this has been a moment of growth. I finally got an office, or built an office, cheap, but it works. And I don't know, I think I've been connecting more with my family. I've been doing a lot of gaming. Shout out to BPT, or Black Pokemon Trainers. Right now, as we speak, I'm actually in a tournament for a monotype team. Winner gets 3 shinies. But yes, if you have anybody wants an L, please send me y'all code. I'll definitely come by and give them L's. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of games, a lot of anime, reading a lot. Demon Slayer looks, I can't even say it, but
oh my gosh.
But yes, it's been a lot. It's just a lot going on. And even to what Shaq has said, I was shocked because One Piece don't stop. When I mean they don't stop, they don't stop. There is no season stopping. There is no, we'll take a week or two off, but they don't stop. And they are officially stopping. So you can just see the real impact that COVID has had on the world, not just locally or nationally.
I can feel that one shonen fanboy who's like, "They stopped One Piece? COVID-19 just got personal. You son of a bitch."
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, this is real. Because, if you don't know, One Piece has over 1,000 episodes. 20 years running, and only time they're off is on holidays. And that means that they take a weekend break, and they right back at it. So I am like, wow, like, if y'all could stop them, it must be serious.
It's like Waffle House.
Bro, it's like Waffle House.
Waffle House is used to determine what state of emergency that we're in. It's like, oh, Waffle House open? It ain't that bad. But if Waffle House closes,
yeah,
not me.
Man, let me tell you, because like over here where me and Justin are at, there's I know for those who don't know, there's a ramen restaurant that me and Justin love to go to called Ramen House, and I know we highly recommend, and like listen, their ramen is so good. I thoroughly understood why Naruto eats ramen so much. Like, and the fact that like it's been like almost like a full month since I've had it, shit's irking my fucking nerves, man. Like, I want my shit, I want my fix. And like, not only that,
he about to be out here like Tyrone Biggums.
Got this ramen.
I need a chicken miso ramen bowl, bro.
Y'all got any more of them shoyu?
Bruh, listen, I want my chicken shoyu, bro.
How do y'all order ramen? Do y'all get like 2 bowls to try both? Are y'all that fat or?
Nah, it depends.
It depends. I know, like because like first thing first, we get a whole bunch of sake, and then I start off with like 8 dumplings, and then I get my bowl.
Oh, okay. So you might be full by the time.
And see me, I go straight to the bowl, but I'll have the dumplings in case I want to like dip or just mix the sauce. So that's why I'm able to eat. Might be able to get off too, but when we go to Ramen House, I can't get past that first bowl. Like it's that big.
And we have like set rules. So like if we bring other people with us, it's like we gotta explain these set rules of Ramen House. Like the first rule of Ramen House is you must finish your bowl. You will not disrespect the ramen. Like just how like your mom would tell you, like, you wanted that food, you better eat everything off that before you leave this table. I don't know if I'm the only person who had to experience that, but like if you want it, you gonna finish. You gonna sit there and finish it. So that's like the first rule.
I was fat, so of course I finished my plate.
Yeah, see, they used to call me a garbage disposal because I was the one that was like, "Oh, y'all got leftovers? Y'all went
you
to
gonna
the
finish
restaurant?
that?
Y'all got leftovers? What?"
I feel you on that. It's like my dad called me, what was it, a walking black hole.
Yes. Been called that many a times. Especially before I was fat, when I used to just be skinny and I couldn't like hold weight. Oh my God, like it was ridiculous. I used to just go, my stepfather is known as the Ponderosa Pimp. So there's a all you can eat buffet called Ponderosa. If you haven't, for those listeners who've never been to it or don't know what I'm talking about, it is like the exquisite or top-notch version of buffets. So not only do they have like your typical, chicken burgers, wings, all that good stuff. They also have lobster tail sometimes. They'll have scallops, filet mignon. And again, you're paying like $45 to get into it. But when you pay that $45, you get like all the top notch, whatever you're looking for. And they'll have like specialties.
I've heard of Ponderosa.
My stepfather was called the Ponderosa Pimp because every Sunday he had a deal or something special to where 2 of us always got in free. So whenever we went, we always had like 2 or 3 people that was able to get in free. So we started calling him the Ponderosa Pimp.
Wow.
And whenever we went, it was always me and him like going at it to see who, like legit Luffy versus Goku, who can finish it.
Man, I haven't been to. That's the one thing that I've missed the most since this whole Corona thing started. Going to buffets on the weekend, like after I would train or after I'd work out, me and my girlfriend we'd hit like the lunch buffet at like some of our favorite Thai places or Indian places, and now we can't. Because that's the thing that hit me the hardest. No more buffets.
Yeah. And I mean, I had a traumatic experience at a buffet, so I've never been back. Like, it's been almost a decade now. But I used to love going there. And again, it wasn't nothing horrible. Like, somebody had I'm going to say a allergic reaction or whatever to to the buffet, and he threw up. And the person next to him continued to scoop food out of the place he was throwing up at. I was like, never again.
What?
I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Like, horrible. Like, I still vividly remember, like, it was yesterday. I was like, if this is what people do, like, and I don't mean, like, scooping out, trying to clean it. Like, no, they were still putting food in that tray. I was like, no. If this is the level of cleanliness that we have in buffets, I'm never coming back. Haven't been back since.
Well, until I see that, I'm gonna keep on eating.
I mean, my family still goes, but no, there's like that worker. He ruined it for the rest of my life. I was like, no, never again. Like, dude, literally just threw up in this, and you're still putting food in it. Nah, never again. I'm good. But
I understand that.
Continuing on, going into the episode. The first mom I have to shout out, and I know she gets a lot of hate, but she is one of the strongest moms to ever exist in the anime world. Yes, I am saying to ever exist. She is Sakura Uchiha. Oh, okay. Sakura getting some love. We had her. I like that. Sakura, I know she gets a lot of trash talk because of the people she's competing against, but Sakura is actually from the anime called Naruto. If you ever get a chance to watch it, we talk about it enough to where you should know by now what we're talking about. But Sakura is the number 3 character, period. I mean, yes, there's a lot of argument in that, but as it stands right now, for the people who are alive, she's number 3. And the reason why she's number 3 is because her number 1 thing is to help or heal. She's a healer, but her battle damage is by far none. I mean, she can compete with some of the Kages that's out there. She had literally competed with the god of all chakra, which, again, that's a whole argument that I'm trying to avoid. But
I'm glad we was on that one.
You see, you know, punch and pull. But
boy, you stepping on thin ice there, player. Tread lightly, my friend. Tread lightly.
But again, I got to give a shout out to her because even in her circumstance, and I know for those who are watching Boruto, you may understand what I'm talking about. Her relationship with her husband isn't that great, but
trash.
You see how I'm trying to praise this, right? You see how I'm trying to praise this? You see the praise in there.
She tries. That's the whole point that he's saying.
He tries.
Yeah, again, he's trying. Again, the strained relationship. It's a strained. Like, they do love each other, quote unquote, but it's strange. And she's handling a beast of a daughter, who by far is taking, like, if there was ever passing on the torch as to strength from father and mother to child, she would be that prodigy. She has the intelligence. She's one of those characters where when she gets into herself, or when she grows into and she matures into an adult, and her mind matches her body and how it aged and strengthens, she's going to be the Kage. Like, she could be Kage level. And what I mean by Kage level, she could be a leader of a tribe. So, again, powerful woman. Her raw power itself is bar none strongest, if not close to strongest woman to ever exist, especially in Naruto specifically. Only person that I think competes with her in strength is the person who taught her strength. And even then, the person who I'm acknowledging even said that she's stronger. So again, I got to give Sakura her just due. I know that she's compared to Naruto and Sasuke, which again, I do not agree with those comparisons. You cannot compete with the top two main characters and then expect to be just as good. Like, there's never going to happen.
Right.
But, that's my character. My number one for moms in anime, definitely Sakura.
Okay. I like that.
What you got, JP?
So, my first mother is going to be Belmere from One Piece.
Hey!
Justin, first off, Justin, get your ass down.
That was my honorable mention.
She was your honorable mention?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, now, okay, so my reason for picking her,
she's a beast.
It's not even, she is a beast, but it was also her name. So if you guys watch One Piece, you'll find out that she is the mother of one of the main characters, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's the mother of one of the Straw Hat members, and she wasn't actually their biological mother, she was their pseudo mom, their stepmom, not through relation, just she took them in and took care of them. So they're her adopted kids. And Belmere is actually French for stepmom. So that's a nice little play on words. And then if you mix, I'm Haitian if you guys don't know. So Bel, means good. And then Mere means mom in French. Anyway, it means mom in French. So if you mix Creole and French, it's literally like good mom. So that's why I picked her. It was a little bit like of a fun fact, but she made a big sacrifice for her kids in that show and kept them alive and ended up paying a price for it. I'm not going to say what the price was, but she was a badass. She was a Marine. She would fight anybody, wasn't scared of anybody, and looked death in the face and just kept it cool. So she's dope. I can't say too much without spoiling it, but it's like if you haven't watched One Piece by now, then you kind of suck.
Yeah, and
that's hurtful.
I tell you why. After I said it,
but you gonna drop that on me? Okay.
After I said it, I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "My bad." I was like, "Oh shit."
Time out. You are at home doing nothing. You have no choice. You could just give it about 15. Just give it about a good 15.
Oh no, I definitely do have a choice. I have the choice to watch something the fuck else. That's my choice.
She had her moment or her highlight inside of the One Piece world. If you talk about character development and if you're talking about just climaxing moments within One Piece, that always comes up as like one of the top 10, just because of how it set the world continuing on. Again, I'm not going to get into the detail, obviously, but her story affects multiple things, and her strength gets the Luffy crew to where it's at today. Again, great choice. That was a beast. But what about you, Shaq? What's yours?
Justin, I want you to go ahead and first just wipe off the drool coming off your face, because I know you over here just like, yes, the first pick was a One Piece character. Oh my god! Calm down. All right.
See, I didn't go with it. I was just happy that I didn't go with it.
Justin is like that one meme that's going around with the cheering. The guy's on the second place or third place, and he's like cheering, doing all that stuff.
He came in second.
Alright, so mine's is a well-known, popular anime mother, and who's been in an anime series for a very long time. That is the technological genius herself, Miss Bulma Briefs from the Dragon Ball series.
Oh, dang it! Yep.
This young lady has been in the game since Dragon Ball, and one quick moment for the original Japanese voice actor, Miss Hiromi Sudo, who passed away during the fall season a few years back during the ending of Dragon Ball Super. I think right before the tournament of Power began. Her last lines being, good luck, come back, we'll miss you. So big props to the Japanese voice actor and her family and stuff like that. She's been in the game for a very long time, being the voice of Bulma. But her character, very innovative character. You would think that like this kind of character would be like that continuous damsel in distress that causes the problems for the main character and stuff like that. But she's really been like a pretty decent contribution to the series when she's in it and stuff like that. And then as well as like being that game changer in Vegeta's story arc. Oh, man.
Pretty much.
So good, you turn a space tyrant into a dad.
He ain't care about nothing before he got a taste of that.
Man. And she was that was trend setting in the original. Like she knew she had game back in the 80s.
Extraterrestrial.
Listen, and this, and then like, you know what I'm saying? Now go ahead.
And I mean, that's crazy that you chose her because it kind of goes with the person that I chose for my next one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Y'all about to take both of mine.
No. It's not in Dragon Ball Z. It's not in Dragon Ball Z. It's not in Dragon.
Because like, there was somebody else I wanted to choose, but because of like Bulma's character as far as longevity within the series and the fact that like while she stayed in the series, like she's been a contribution to the story during certain story arcs. I mean, in Z not as much, but like certain parts she did, and like she did a little bit more in Super. Which another mention, like during the Goku Black arc, like not the current. Well, I'm going into more of the timeline speaking right now. So for those who have not seen Dragon Ball Super, which is available both English sub and dub. So if you haven't seen it by now, I don't know. This is going to be a quick spoiler warning about a scene in Dragon Ball Super coming at you, so you can skip this in the next couple seconds. And I'm doing it now. So in the Dragon Ball Super arc, the Goku Black arc more specifically, not speaking of the current Bulma that we're all knowing of, but the Bulma who's in the future timeline with future Trunks. And like how that story arc starts off, where she's trying to get Trunks to go back in time to see about stopping the new antagonist of the story and everything, coming to find out it's the evil Goku, and then like that whole scene of like she's doing all this stuff, making the sacrifice, and like not a lot of people think about it, but like that one little scene was like so crazy because like right before Goku Black kills her last thing she sees is the face of her best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a lot of people, like, especially like younger, don't really think about it, but it's like, you gotta think about, like, regardless of which timeline, that Bulma was close to Goku, and like, knowing that, like, the last thing you see before you die is somebody with his face killing you. Like, low-key, that was deep.
And
also, like, Goku Black, on a side note, had, like, one of the most, like, craziest villain intros of the series. I'm just
you're definitely like leading right into my next one.
See, this is why I'm always last, because it somehow flows within the next rotation. But like I said before, Bulma Briefs from the Dragon Ball series. That's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and GT. I know we don't talk about it, but GT also. She's I won't say an important side character, but she's a side character that when she's involved, she does something. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, a great mother to Trunks. and to the recent born.
Oh yeah.
Bulla or Bruh, I don't know what name they're going with. A lot of people are going back and forth on that one, but she takes care of her kids, both present and future.
And she takes care of her man.
Yes. You got a whole man who can blow up planets. You say something, he'll listen. That's how you know it's powerful. Listen, we respect y'all. All right, y'all ladies, y'all have power. We want y'all to know that. We know y'all do.
So one person who I know has power, and it's getting explained in the next season, just so you can have something to tune into on Attack on Titan. But the mom I'm going for is Kyla Yeager. And I am saying her because for those who have never watched Attack on Titan, this is the first episode, so you don't have to worry about if it really is a spoiler or not. It's what they trailer all the time for the season 1. This mother is the mother of the main character, and she does the ultimate sacrifice by sacrificing herself for her children to get away.
I was proud of that scene.
Yeah,
that was emotional as fuck.
And if you find out the rest of what happens, when you find out the rest of that, it's even worse.
Like, bruh. Yeah. Like, I low-key almost had to call my mom after watching that, man. I was like, bruh, listen, if Titans came, mama, you know I'd save you, right? You know I love you, mama.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. Holding it down.
9-9 in the early 2000s. But yeah, the reason why I'm choosing her is because, just like they explained, it is one of the most pivotal moments inside of the series, and it's literally the first episode. A lot of what happens passed on, and even seasons later, for those who have watched season 2 and season 3, you understand that there is even a more dark and demonic moment that happened, as to why she's even having to be confronted with this exact Titan. This Titan, again, not getting into the details, chose that village for a reason. And the fact that she knew who it was and still did what she did just speaks to the strength of what not only women have, but what a mother has for their children. Again, not getting into all the details. If you really want to find out, please check out Attack on Titan. Starting with episode 1, you will get a little bit of detail in that. But please, if you have a moment, just check that out and check her out. She is a beast.
Yeah, that one. She's dope. And you know, you're going to make one of our listeners extremely happy because she's steady talking about Attack on Titan stuff.
It's true.
And I mean, because you can't, to me, if you're talking about anime mothers and strength, there's different types of strength. For example, when I was talking about Sakura, she actually has physical strength, but there's another completely different form of strength that Carla shows that has her, to me, one of the top 5 strongest women or mothers inside of anime. Like,
well, I will also say that Sakura has, you know what I'm saying, that emotional. I think she had a decent amount of episodes that she showed that emotional motherly strength with the situation with her daughter, Sakura, especially like in the beginning. And I don't talk about Sakura that much, so this is a rare occasion right now. But I would definitely say
that's why I brought her up.
True.
She definitely did, because I mean that whole dynamic of imposter syndrome, where you're like, I don't know if I really am who I'm portraying to try to be, and how she had to fight that, and it took until some little demon-style clone kids to mess with her children for her children to even notice like how strong she really was.
Oh yeah.
But the nice thing is like, I thought it was cute when the moment where, like, Sasuke acknowledged, he's like, I ain't worried. It's like, that's a beast over there when talking about Sakura. So it's like, And this is the strongest, a godlike character who's just like, nah, I ain't worried. Ain't even flinch. Just like, It's like, I'm mad you took her, but that's your problem.
That's how you know he had like some people will say like, oh, he was trash for that, but at the same time it's like, nah, that's just like he had just had that confidence in his wife. Like, oh, you kidnapped Sakura, you retarded. All right, cool. Watch your shit get fucked up.
You want to take that L? Go ahead, man. Like, but yeah, what's the next one you got, JP?
All right, so my next one, y'all took a few. Okay,
you gotta start over.
Dang,
you gotta have extras on your list.
I don't know if I want to have characters from the same, because I have a list of like 12. I wanted to make sure I hit different things, but I didn't want to have characters from the same show. But some of the characters were just that good. But
oh god, you're doing another One Piece character, aren't you?
Hey, you know what? I can save this. Okay, so Masaki Kurosaki.
Okay.
From Bleach.
I'll take that. I'll take that for 500.
She was a great mom. So anyway, this character is from Bleach. I can't say all too much about her, or at least what happened without spoiling it, but another mother who made a big sacrifice for her child, and things got switched up, which end up leading to her death. And that's not a spoiler. They tell you the first episode, but this character is actually a character that had a prominent role in the show, and without saying all too much, this situation would have been a normal, easy situation had things not occurred that changed the outcome, but she still sacrificed her life to save her child, Ichigo, and she didn't have that much screen time, but the fact that they explained in the show that after the mother's death, all the children changed completely. Ichigo stopped smiling. He wasn't happy like he was. The other sisters, I think the eldest sister, one with the black hair, she stopped crying or something like that. And then the youngest sister became like the housekeeper of everything. She kept everything together, cooked all the food, and it just goes to show the big impact that she had. That the fact that all her kids changed completely after her death and they never went back to how they used to be just shows that she was obviously a very loving character, and she did a lot, and she held everybody down. I'm not even going to talk about the dad because then I'd probably get too close to spoiling stuff. But
I'm sitting on the edge like, don't do it.
Right? Start talking. Well, you know how they met was, but she is my character, and that's just something, they always, not in anime, but the ones that they do, moms always do something great. They're always quick to sacrifice their lives. And we know, my mom is great. I love my mom to death. I know she would do that. The mothers in my family, they would all do that. They've all sacrificed a lot. So that's pretty much been like the main point of this whole episode, just mothers making sacrifices.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that was a real,
that's mine.
Real sacrifice early.
Yeah, she made a sacrifice before I can't talk about it. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna spoil stuff.
Listen, for everyone who's listening, when Bleach comes back, just so you know, you will. If you feel like you didn't know too much about Ichigo's mom in the recent anime adaptation, once Bleach comes back, you will know everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's on.
It all makes sense. But all right, Shaq, what you got?
Man, so I got one that's similar to Justin's. She was a really heavy hitter mother in her series. I have the lovely Miss Trisha Elric from the Full Metal Alchemist series.
Okay.
So because it was two different back and forth series of Full Metal, I'm going to mention her in both the first Full Metal Alchemist, and then briefly in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Trisha Elric was the mother of the main characters, Alphonse and Edward Elric, and also the wife too, von Hohenheim. But yeah, bear with me.
Yeah, you said it right.
Bear with me, because I had to take a minute to make sure I pronounce that name right. But she was a nice house mother who lived in a small village when Hohenheim decided to just sit his ass down and just live his life for a little while and everything. She was the motivational factor for the Elric brothers in both series for them to continue doing alchemy and stuff like that, especially once Hohenheim had left the house for his particular reasons. They go into detail in both series, but a little bit differently. For those who've seen both, you will understand. For those who have not seen neither, the main thing between Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is that the first series kind of does its own thing, separate from the manga, and Brotherhood is the exact adaptation from what happens in the manga. But continuing,
the better.
A lot of people say that Brotherhood is the better one, but this lady, like I said, she had a short time in the series, but she pretty much did a lot. And in the first one, I would say in the first one, well, damn, hold on. If I explain, the first one is kind of going into spoiler territory, isn't it?
Yep,
kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that originally in both series, she becomes ill. And it's not because of the father or anything. Like, she just ends up having a sickness, which causes her to pass away. Because, black folks, we don't say die, we say they pass. And which this causes the Elric brothers to motivate themselves to conduct the alchemy taboo, which is human transmutation. And for those who do know, the laws of equivalent exchange is a son of a bitch. And will go into rare form when need to. But, in the first Fullmetal Alchemist series, her death... Well, hold on, let me try to rephrase without spoiling. Damn. She plays another role in the first series, continuing on after her death. The second one, she becomes more symbolic because she's referenced a couple more times, especially when you go into more in depth of the storyline with Hohenheim in the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. When you go into more depth about his story and like his interaction with Trisha and why, with his background story, why her of all women and stuff like that as well. And then you also, every once in a while you get that reference to Trisha with Edward and Alphonse's flashbacks as well. For me, Trisha, I believe is like that warm-hearted mother that, like, with the time she had on screen, it's like she's around Edward and Alphonse and they do all this stuff. They get into all this trouble, but at the same time, like, when she's around, they feel a whole lot better. They feel more at ease and stuff like that. She kind of does a good job of symbolizing that warmth that not just like a child or a husband, but just like the male counterpart appreciates a lot. And, like I said, with the short time on screen that she does have in both series, you can kind of see that. And like I said before, that warming, motherly atmosphere or aura, so to speak, of herself. And you can see why, the Elric brothers went to so much length to do what they had to do to get their mother back. Because, at the end of the day, that's all they had left as well. But, going to the back of your mind, as a child, if something was to happen to your mother, you would go to great lengths to do. Because I know I would do the same from mine. Because I know my mother, she does a lot for me. And I'm always appreciative of what she does. And then all of my other motherly women that have been involved in my life as well. I hope I didn't lose you guys.
No. You did. I was trying to let you go off. I was trying to let you get yours.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go call my mom. I've been talking to my mom a lot more since the Corona thing. Just picking up, not having as big an attitude. Sometimes it's like you're doing something. It's like, man, again? But it's like my mom will call me 2 or 3 times a day, but I've been talking to her longer, just, things are scary. It's like you don't really realize how quick things can change sometimes. So it's like, give my mom that time of the day. She deserves it.
Right.
And I mean, especially for me, because like with my mother relationship, I know we love each other to death, but we're not. And this could be the reason why most of us ended up in the military. Like, we don't have a lot of, empathy type conversations. Even when we talk about emotions, it's not really like in depth, I love you too type. Like, my mom was really, really street driven when she was growing up. So a lot of that tough love shedded on us. So when we talk about it, and even when I talk about it with my own wife, it's like, there's times where I understand what is needed in that moment, but I can see how the impact that moms can have on you, because when I have those moments where I know I should be more loving or more caring, my innate mind first thought is, nah, I'm good. And I try to I've been trying to work on that, just because emotionally or in my heart, I know that I can say this to truly explain what I feel in that moment, but mentally and verbally, I don't say it at all. It's like, because I don't think I need to. And again, it's just another testament to how mothers really do play a huge part in your lives and your development and just, overall growth of how you mature as a person and an adult. And I think actually my next person kind of even goes into this. It is a One Piece character.
Of course.
Oh no! Please don't. Please tell you why I'm like, please don't take my.
He got one already, so he got to do one.
I mean, it's.
And that's it.
Okay, and so
I feel like I know who you're picking.
Again, going over that whole emotional conversation that I was just having, this person to me truly captures that when you actually watch the anime. But this is Sora Vinsmoke. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take my headphones off for this one because I'm not that.
No. I'm not gonna spoil it. But
so
for
not only
those
did you do
who
a One Piece character, but you're doing spoiler alerts now. Good job. 2 for 2.
I mean, this is an arc behind. In One Piece terms, this is like 100 episodes behind.
Yeah, because it got 1,000.
So
they ain't never gonna meet up.
It's like I'm still not there yet. I'm still on episodes. I haven't hit 800 yet. I'm almost at 800.
I mean, and again, even when you hear this, you're gonna be like, "Oh no, you didn't really give me anything." But Sora Vinsmoke is one of the crew's mothers, and kind of like what JP already said, the crew. One Piece in general has a lot of character development. Every character plays a role inside the entire world. So rather it be that 10-minute guy that you saw on screen that just had a random conversation, talking about being he could be drunk on the floor talking about being a pirate, and 40 episodes later he's one of the Yonkos.
Oh, yep. I remember because that one threw me off. I was like, wait a minute.
So this is one of those people. Sora Vinsmoke is one of the pirates' mothers. And the reason why she is such a pivotal person and I connected kind of with this mother is because it's not so much that she can't express or show what it is that she's trying to show. It's so much that due to everything that is affecting her, she isn't able to. But regardless of what is going on, regardless of what she may feel, whenever her child came to her, all of that got thrown out the window, and it was like the happiest moment in her world. When I mean it took a lot to even get through these episodes, only because, again, One Piece knows how to pull on your heartstrings very good. So when you're watching this, just understand that what you feel is exactly what a lot of people felt when watching these moments. She does have to do a sacrifice, but it's nothing like how my first character was. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. I want people to watch it for themselves so they can get their own interpretation of it. But I think she's one of the most pivotal people inside this crew member's life, and to even why he becomes to who he is now, and how, kind of like how Shaq was talking about with Ichigo and how his personality changed with...
That was me.
Huh?
That was JP, not me.
JP.
That was me.
My fault. Kind of like how JP talked about Ichigo and how his character changed. With this crew member, he doubled down on who he was, and he never looked back because of what the mother did for him. Again, not getting into what happened with his family, not getting into what happened with everything else, just focusing on the mother. I think this speaks volumes to why he is the way he is. And I think a lot of people, if you ever had a mother like this, or if you had a mother in this situation, it speaks a lot to how a mother and son or a mother and daughter's connection can literally change lives for people. Again, not going to go into the real details of it, but Sora, she definitely is, if not top 10, top 8 mothers in anime.
I feel you. That was a good pick.
Yeah, see, I try again. I didn't go into the depths of everything, but but who's your third?
Yeah. All right. So my third, honestly, kind of struggling with this one because it's like it was between 3 characters that I actually wanted on like the top 3, and then my honorable mention. I'm still struggling with it, but a mom that I thought was really dope was Kushina Uzumaki
Okay.
from Naruto. And for those that do not know, I'm just gonna, this whole segment, my part is about to be a spoiler because
he can't hold
it's like it's Naruto. So Kushina is Naruto's mother. She is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki before Naruto. She, I guess I won't spoil everything if you haven't watched it yet, but it's like you really should. She gets attacked. Her and her husband get attacked by somebody. She ends up getting the Nine-Tails extracted out of her. Still staying alive, though. And then her and the husband end up defending the baby, protecting the baby, which ends up sealing their fate completely. Well, seals her fate completely. So she, on top of being a great mom with just wanting to be very loving, she had her baby and only had a few moments with the baby. And she could have been like, well, you know what? I'll just try to have another one, but she went and sealed her own fate to defend her baby and ended up leaving a part of herself, at least a part of her energy within Naruto. So one day when it really matters and he's at like his lowest point, she shows up and gives him some words of encouragement. And at this point, Naruto hadn't even seen his mother yet, or didn't really know anything about his mother because the third Hokage was trash.
Oh, man.
It's like, let's just go and say that Sarutobi was nice to everybody in that damn village except for Naruto.
Do you think it was hate?
He wasn't mean to Naruto. It was just like, hey man, do what you gotta do. I got shit to do.
Pretty much. He shut him down all the time. Where's my parents at? Don't worry about that. They're dead. You can't bring them back. Like, damn, nigga.
Straight trash.
Ooh, I got a little excited on that one.
I know. I think that's a good little argument topic on that one on why he didn't really talk too much to Naruto about it. I think that went more into politics.
I understand it. Yeah, it's like I understand why, but he was cold with it.
Yeah.
Like, he was hella cold. He could have said a few more things instead of blowing that kid right the fuck off saying, there's no need to worry about the dead. You can't bring the dead back. It's like, say that when he's a little bit older. This man is 7 and he's living by himself.
Especially when you got a whole clan of dead bodies to put at your feet.
Yeah. Yeah, he did authorize that one.
Like, I mean, again,
So,
I know this is all tangent, but
Yeah, but that goes into his issues go into like a whole nother thing with like politics and stuff.
yeah. He made the safe choice, but it was a cold choice.
It really was.
I'll go and say that. But yeah, Kushina Uzumaki, she is a great mom. That's true. But she is a great mom. I can't really say all too much without spoiling it, but she's another one that made a very big sacrifice. And just in that one moment where she was able to meet her child for the first time.
Which was so damn emotional.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who didn't get close. You either cried, got teary-eyed, or was extremely close to crying after that episode.
If you didn't feel anything, you are horrible inside.
Yeah, I would agree. Is that was one of those moments where when I was rewatching with my girlfriend, I was like, "Oh yeah, she's gonna cry here." It's like she gonna cry here, and it's like when it's happening, I'm like watching, and then I look over at her real slowly and be like, "Yep, she's crying." It's like feel it, feel it,
feel the tension in the air, feel the emotions, emotional jutsu.
It's like, oh, you gonna get this hurt. You go get it. Cause it's like, that's one of the things, it's like, especially for that moment, it was so much love, but also so much sadness. And it's just, she was such a mom. It's like, oh, it's like, it's gonna hurt. And it's like, and then when you see her story, it's gonna hurt even more. And you're gonna feel that hurt that I felt when I was a teenager. It's like, cause we had to wait. It's like, that's the one thing different between binge watching. It's like, you get to run through it a little faster, but it's like, we had to wait for a long time to find out anything, and then when you finally find out, it's like, damn.
Oh yeah, and then to add on with that, from when they involved Kushina in the one of the Naruto films, which was called The Last Movie. I don't know why, but no, not that one. I'm sorry,
3 movies
wrong one.
later.
No, yeah, I was
Not
gonna
that
say
one.
it's not
My apologies, it's the wrong one. No, wait, it was that one.
I don't remember Kushina coming up in the last.
It was not.
That was
My
about
bad,
the
my
scarf
bad. It was
more.
not that one. One of the Naruto films, which I can't remember right now, so I apologize, that involves, this is going to another spoiler territory with Naruto as well, if you haven't seen the films, but it goes into a part of Madara's infamous Tsukuyomi plan, where like his miniature plan, where like he puts Naruto in an alternate universe to where a lot of couple things change, which one of them being that Naruto's family did not die, and that he gets to kind of experience that whole having a mom and dad in his life situation. You kind of get to see that slice of life of Naruto being with Minato and his mother, Kushina? Yeah.
Yeah, Kushina.
And everything, and like, you see that, and you see what happens to the alternate universe, Naruto, whose name something else, and you're
Koenma, I think
it's
something like that.
Mina. It starts with an M. Yeah,
Something.
But you see that connection, and you see and you see why they acted that way during the film when he shows up, and they meet him and stuff like that, and the fact that like they understood the situation, they kind of just ran with it because of the emotional stress they was going through as parents. And you see, like, man, like, this is what Naruto's life would have been if they were still around type stuff. And I know, like, that particular, like, even though, like, there was a larger grand scheme of the film, that certain portion of the film just made you feel like, wow, like, that's crazy. And then at the same time, it gave Sakura, who was also in the film, because a part of it was they got into a little skirmish of Sakura was being annoyed by her parents, but like Naruto was trying to explain to her, like, regardless of what's going on, you need to appreciate that they're still around, regardless of like them being embarrassing and stuff like that. Because like half the time Sakura forgets that he's been an orphan the entire fucking time, and that segment of the movie, she realizes like, oh, this is how Naruto feels fucking every day, and I only had to go through this one single day, and I'm fucking tired of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, one to the audience is like, yeah, bitch, take that. Understand how the fuck he feels now, bitch, being an asshole in the beginning of the movie like that. But at the same time, it's like, yo, we glad Naruto got that a little bit of experience, even though I don't think it's canon, even though it's not really canon, because, you know, most anime films aren't like that, but still, it just goes into that whole, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you get an understanding of Naruto's mom's character as a mother and stuff like that, and like that, and then that whole what could have been kind of scenario as well. So like once you know, as JP mentioned, you get to that certain segment of the main storyline, I think it hits just as hard as well, because you saw what could have been prior to that part of the story arc, and then leading into that, it's just like, man,
anime does the best job in pulling on your heartstrings.
Oh yeah, definitely do.
It takes very good directors and very good acting for it to get close in real life.
Yes.
Right? And that's why y'all should stop making these live action movies. Just stop.
Man.
It's like, come up with some new ideas.
Right. Listen, when they said that they was putting in the works to a live action One Punch Man, I was so furious for like 10 minutes. Like, no. Leave him alone. Leave Saitama and Genos alone. Like, no.
Tom
no
Cruise
more.
gonna play him.
Bro,
They just don't do right
work, bro.
by the characters. It's like,
Tom Cruise
it's like, no. It's like y'all try to big budget everything.
Bruh, like my thing is like, if a Japanese studio is not doing it, it's not gonna be right. Because the people who did the live action Death Note movie, the guys who did the Ronin Kenshin live action movie, like those people know what they're doing. But the guys who did fucking Dragon Ball Evolution and that bullshit Death Note on Netflix, oh fuck no. If it's from those kind of people, oh, you can suck a jungle infested dick.
It's that style of writing and emotion. It's like, we can get it. American studios can get it for certain things. It's like, but it's like, no, leave the anime alone. It's like, y'all just don't understand. It ain't your culture. Stop it.
Like,
it's like, stop. Or if you're going to do it, put the money into it like you would for anything else. And then say, it's like, we ain't changing nothing. We're not going to try to add our own spin to something that doesn't need a new spin on it. It's like, but they're not going to do that.
Because it doesn't make sense to. I mean, if you have so many facets from Love and Hip Hop to America's Got Talent to all these other TV shows, like, you trying to put that type of emotion, time, and energy and money into a live action Naruto American style, it's no point.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even invest.
They try to quick fix.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like just do it like this. It won't matter. It's like no. Anime ain't for quick fixes. It's like, these are deep storylines that pull you in. It's like, even the short anime, it's like deep storyline that can pull you in, make you feel things. It's like every anime is pretty deep, or at least they stay true to what they're trying to do, and they do a great job at it. It's like a lot of America is just, give me something quick. It's just it's junk food, essentially. Is where I'd go. But
going into the next mother, my next choice, like I said, from a large list, I'm gonna go with Her Royal Majesty Queen Morelia Q. Mellermark from Rising of the Shield Hero. For those who have been listening to the podcast, we have mentioned Rising of the Shield Hero a good amount of times, because it's just one of those like really good series to catch with. And like we've mentioned before in previous episodes, like a lot of the characters you will feel involved, you will have some type of attachment or involvement with. And Queen Morelia, I would say she was one of those saving grace characters in the series. And then in addition, as far as like her role, not only as the queen, but only as a mother of two princesses, one being her youngest daughter and then her oldest daughter, we all know is a bitch. Like, I'm going to say spoiler warning, but she's a bitch. Like, you find that out from episode 1, people. So when you if you watch Rising of the Shield Hero after this episode, you will know who I'm talking about the bitch princess. Okay, but still, going into her role, the Kingdom of Melromark is a queen ran hierarchy. So the queen has more ranking than the king. The king is the person who is married into the family, versus the female being married to the family, which we mostly know from mostly historic and fantasy monarchies. So Queen Morelia plays a larger role within that kingdom and stuff like that, and you start learning more about what's going on and what she's been doing behind the scenes as well. I'm not going to spoil everything for those who have not seen Rising of the Shield Hero, which is available both English sub and dub on multiple anime streaming platforms, both legal and illegal. I mean, your choice, you know what I'm saying? But her character, I would say, like I said, her role going into the story when she's introduced, major problem solver. Like, so many issues that was going on when she came into the scene, they were all handled. She's someone who is a queen who plays multiple roles and does them with like the best of precision. She makes those hard choices for her kingdom. She's tactically sound as far as like handling the military and stuff like that. And she also, you know what I'm saying, can actually hold her own in a fight as well, as far as like her magical abilities within the story. For those who do not know what about Rising of the Shield Hero, the power scaling is dealing with magic, and she has a great deal of magical power by herself and stuff like that. And then her job and then like her role as well as a mother within the story, having to make those hard choices, especially one of them that she was going to make within the story, which I'm not going to spoil, but it was a hard one that she was going to make, but thanks to the Shield Hero, she didn't have to make it and stuff like that. Damn it, I think I just spoiled it.
Nah, not too much. I mean, honestly, I gotta watch it again because I forgot some of the stuff. But no, you ain't really spoiling much. If
you feel like I spoiled something as you're listening, let me know in the comment section of however you're listening to this, or just hit us up on our Instagram. Yeah, I believe Queen Morelia is one of those mothers that like understands a lot of situations, and like just like one of those like those incredible traits of a mother that, like, you know what I'm saying, she is willing to make those hard decisions that she can think on her feet, and then like she can act on what needs to be done, not only for herself but for the people she cares about. Because even though the king of Melromark and one of her daughters as well have done a whole bunch of stupid ass shit in this series, I'm just gonna put that out there, she still cares and she's still trying to do the right thing and stuff like that. And that's like one of those, like, you know, admirable motherly traits of just like, regardless of good or bad, she's trying to make sure stuff is getting done for the betterment of her people and all that good stuff. And I know once the next season comes around, I know she's probably still going to continue to play a big role within the story as well. For those who are manga readers, don't spoil it, but we know, really appreciate the Queen Morelia and stuff like that, especially when she was introduced into the story, like I said before. But I know that's my other pick, because I feel like she's a more recent anime mom to bring up. And like I said, her time on the screen was awesome. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, there was the subtle hints in the beginning of, like, you know what I'm saying, where's the queen and all of this? And then once you realize, you know what I'm saying, like, she plays this pivotal role within the story, then it's like, you know what I'm saying, you understand who she is as a character within the story a lot better and stuff like that, both as the queen and as the mother of the two princesses princesses of male remark. Which one is the bitch, by the way? I'm just going to mention that so much.
Yeah, we hate her. She sucked.
Oh, side note, if y'all want us to do a roast session on the particular character we're talking about from Riders on the Sheer Hero, let us know in the comment section, because we are thinking about doing a roast session of certain characters, and that bitch is definitely on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they... How can I say this and tread lightly at the same time? I feel like they put way too much clout into the mom and gave the daughter not enough.
How so?
Because I feel like the daughter should have took a lot of the credit that the mom stepped in and just did. Because the daughter was the one who was actually with the crew, who actually was able to get the emotional connection, blah, blah, blah. But,
yeah.
You know, again, that's a personal preference, not, needed for this, but yeah.
He said it ain't needed, but I'm going to give it
exactly,
anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Just throw that little sauce in there on that bowl. Just throw a little sauce on that bowl.
Right.
But get into my honorable mention. Really isn't a honorable mention. She's more like a person who should have just been in there. But going back to Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh. She was on my list. I had a list of 12.
Yeah.
So.
Again, I'm going to be quick, sweet, just because I can't give anything about this character because it's literally like one of the main pieces as to how they are so strong. But as Uzumi Curtis, I think she
was a good one.
She, by far, one of the strongest people in Full Metal Alchemist, if it wasn't for her health. And that's a good, underlining thing that's happened with a lot of moms in anime. A lot of them are always sick.
Yeah.
And the stronger they are, the more sick they are.
I know. I was going to mention her in our previous episodes about characters with sicknesses, but like that was more so of like a after effect of her decision, not more so of an illness. So that's why I didn't mention her.
Yeah.
So yeah, but definitely like one of the coolest moms right there.
For sure. And she played a big role. She played a big role in their lives too. My honorable mention is a character from One Piece. And it is Curly Dodon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, this is kind of a spoiler because they don't go into her all too much until yeah. So I'd say skip for at least, I don't know, a minute. And I'll say Curly Dodon again in case I go past that. So anyway, Curly Dodon is the stepmother. She kind of got thrown into this motherhood role, and she is the mother of Luffy, Ace, and then Sabo. And these are kids that she didn't raise. She had no relation to them. She's kind of being blackmailed, kind of, sort of. And she's like, she's left alone to do whatever. She's just got to raise these 3 little feral ass children. And she does a good job of it, at least trying to make sure that they stay alive. Sometimes because she's scared of who forced her to take care of them, but also she actually does care about them. And it shows when something happens to one of her boys, she does end up having a little bit of a breakdown and also curses the name of the person who brought the kid over to her as well. So great showing for her because at first you don't really see that she cares all too much. She's kind of just always like, man, I want to take care of y'all badasses. Curly Dodon, by the way, still going. And then when something happens, it's like, she was shown to be very upset. But then when things were going good and she was hearing things about her boys, it would always make her smile a little bit. So she's my honorable mention. What about you, Shaq?
So, I have a mix. So, like, I kind of mix it up. I have a few honorable mentions of good mothers, and I have some honorable mentions of bad mothers as well. Because there's a couple from a few animes that I'm just like, oh, she's hashtag fuck them kids. But I guess like for good ones before I go into the bad moms, I had like about a few more. One of them being Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z. Kind of once the Android / Cell saga wrapped up, and Android 18 and her brother Android 17 were given their well, not essentially their lives back, but just a chance for them to actually like just live their lives. And she decided to settle down with Krillin. They have the daughter Marin, which for those who don't know, Marin comes from the name of a previous girlfriend Krillin had that dumped him. Which is weird, by the way.
I didn't know that.
But still, once they have this daughter, like Android 18 is in full, like, I would say like just like that violent. I won't say violent, but just that motherly aggression. Because you've seen like a few scenes of Dragon Ball Z, I believe, and also in Super, that like if something was to happen to Marin, Android 18 will fuck your entire world up and not care how you feel about it. Definitely a very involving mother when it comes to her daughter and stuff like that. And like she's all about her money, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the thing is that like she wants money, but she wants it to help better Marin's life, not just for her. I mean, partially it's for her, yes, but a good portion is for their daughter and stuff like that. And then like I like how she always guilt trips Krillin into doing more stuff, and it's like, oh, so you're just not going to do it, so Marin's just not going to just, you know, have a dad who does this, and this, and like she just guilt trips him into other shit, and just funny, a little dynamic between them two. But I definitely mention her as well as an honorable mention.
Inko Midoriya.
Okay.
I throw her as an honorable mention. She was just a very supportive mom. She never crushed her child's dreams, let him keep believing that he'll become a hero. And then when he actually started becoming a hero, she was there to support him. She was very scared, worrying about his health, but she's down for the set. And then Kurura, which is Gaara's mother from Naruto, she can be an honorable mention as well. She is the reason why he has the ultimate defense. And she was a great mother, even though she didn't really last that long after the birth of him. But those are my honorable mentions. What about you?
I did have Inko Midoriya on my list as well. I also had another one as well. I had well, she's not really a mom, but she played the mother role in her series. Mito Freaks, which is Gon's aunt. In the Hunter x Hunter series, like she played the supportive motherly role of Gon, but like they had that understanding of like she's just his aunt, and but like she was so involved in Gon's life that like the only mom he knows is her. That's just to like slightly just mention her and stuff like that. I know once it gets into the more deeper story arcs, it kind of her role kind of like fades away, but they focus more on other things. But in the beginning of the story arc, you kind of get an understanding of that relationship between Gon and Mito within the story and everything. And so that's why I know I throw her in there as well. Another motherly, I don't know, it kind of looks like motherly role character that I also want to mention as well is Master Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh.
And not more so of just mother, but just like grandma, because I mean, if you've watched the English dub back in the day, he only referred to Master Genkai as grandma. And I also that's the reason why I wanted to bring her in this too, because grandmothers are just as important as well, you know. And she provided a lot of, especially like when you see the relationship between Yusuke and his mom versus Yusuke and Master Genkai, you can see that, especially like, you know, when you get into the story and stuff like that and everything that goes on between Yusuke and Master Genkai and stuff like that. For those who have not seen Yu Yu Hakusho, I highly recommend. I don't know how many times we've mentioned that show in this podcast. 112 episodes available on Hulu. If you got it, check it out. But like I said before, the reason why I want to bring up Master Genkai, like I said, like she plays that grandmother role, which was like so pivotal to Yusuke's development within the story, especially towards the third season, which was the Dark Tournament story arc, which I gotta say one of the best tournament story arcs in anime history. Argue with me if you want, but just like the the amount of growth that she's been able to instill in Yusuke and stuff like that, and like how much that, like, even though he bashes her, talks shit about her and stuff like that, but like when it comes down to it, realizing like how much,
love her.
Yeah, pretty much like how much he loves Master Genkai, how much of a role she's played into his life and stuff like that. And you know, when you get into that really heated part of the story arc towards the end, you know what I'm saying? When he realizes like how much he wouldn't be, how much he wouldn't have grown without her and stuff like that. And like I said, it doesn't bash the relationship between him and his actual mom, but at the same time, it's like you can tell that, like, you know what I'm saying, that grandmother role of instilling that wisdom and stuff like that, which, you know what I'm saying, a lot of grandparents do and stuff like that. And I know with this being the Mother's Day episode, I also wanted to use her as an example of the grandmothers as well that play a role in their grandchildren's lives as well.
I feel you. Especially for the fact that, last part, when she gave Yusuke, or she let him know how the last part of his training would be, when she gave him that fake ultimatum. And it's like, you could even see with Yusuke, even though he had every reason to want to complete everything with his training, what he would have had to sacrifice was obviously messing with, I don't want to spoil it for some people that actually haven't watched the show yet, but it made him struggle. And usually he's a person who can make a choice real quick, but especially if he has very good reasons to, like all shonen characters, it's always based off of friends and stuff, but he hesitated and he didn't want to do a certain thing. So it shows you that he definitely cared for the old hag.
Definitely. But
she was very pretty while she was younger.
That's why I mentioned her in the last episode, because like she's such a cool character.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know if y'all have any more, but I got like a few mentions of like crazy moms. I won't say bad moms anymore, because it weren't like bad, but like crazy moms to mention from anime series because of like the role they played with some of the characters that were their children and whatnot. If y'all don't have anybody else,
I got nobody.
Justin. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can blow y'all minds with this one. So the first one I got for like I said, I'm not gonna say bad moms. This one might actually push the button, but the wow moms. First one is Kyoko Zoldyck, which is Killua's mom from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. She crazy.
Okay.
All right.
But Kyoko Zoldyck, like I said before, is Killua's mom, one of the additional characters of the Hunter x Hunter series. She's the mother of, I think, 4 of the Zoldyck children? No, 5. Sorry, of the 5 children, and she kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain this one, but it's just like she wants what's best for the Zoldyck family, but not what's best for her children. You know,
yeah.
And like I said,
that's a good way to put
like,
it.
Not to say that she's a bad mom, but her intentions are very questionable. That's the only way I can say that. That's the only nice way I can say that.
Selfish
yes,
intentions.
Some of them are very selfish. For those who have seen the Hunter x Hunter series, know what we're talking about and stuff like that. For those who haven't, like we've mentioned before in the previous episodes, Hunter x Hunter one of those anime series we do recommend as well. But like I said,
written by the same person who made Yu Yu
by the same
Hakusho.
person who made Yu Yu Hakusho. So if you have not seen Hunter x Hunter, but you've seen Yu Yu Hakusho, go see it. Made by the same guy. Fun fact, by the way, the creator of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho is married to the lady who made Sailor Moon. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For those who didn't know that, that is as an actual fact.
Some anime goats, I guess, even though Sailor Moon, I think, was not that great. But
listen, it's going to be 2 or 3 women that listen to this podcast that are ready to roast you. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, and I could go and hit them back and be like, I think because they had too much of a male hero in that show about women. So it's like, they want to hit me, say that the show wasn't, or hit me and argue that the show was greater than I act, then I'll hit them with that. And I'm like, well, I think women should have a better representation, and they can save the day themselves. So come at me.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so the next one I have for the, I guess, like I said, WoW Mom. Not many people may know. Well, no, I'm going to skip that one. This from a recent anime. Miss Isabella from Promised Neverland.
Crap! I need to watch. Not watch it. I started it. I haven't gotten far.
Oh my goodness, man! So for those who have seen The Promised Neverland, I'm gonna just like kind of briefly talk about her character and not go too deep into it because it's gonna spoil a lot of the series.
Wait, the sister?
Not that one. Not that one.
Is that the nun, right?
The head mother.
Never mind.
The head mother of the orphanage. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm on like episode 2.
Okay.
Like haven't even started yet.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm talking about, the lady who's taking care of all the kids. Yeah. Well, yeah, the one you say who's a sister, yeah. That's the same lady. Yeah, that's the same lady. So, for those who do not know, The Promised Neverland is a very intricate thriller type of anime. I'm not going to spoil too much of it because, like I said, that's one of our recommendations that we want you guys to mention. A character from this series we have mentioned in the previous episodes as well. And this Isabella's role as like the motherly figure of the series is, like we mentioned before in this episode about, you know what I'm saying, the mom making those tough decisions. And like once you understand why she's making those tough decisions, you kind of are on the back and forth fence of whether you like her as a character or whether you don't like her as a character and stuff like that. Because I can definitely see both sides of it. Some people are on one side, some people aren't. But I will say that Isabella in the Promised Neverland series does exactly that, especially towards the end of the first season. I know there's talk of the second season coming in. I know all you manga readers who's already been reading Promised Neverland, do not spoil it for the anime watchers. But like I said, I wanted to mention her as well. And then my last one I'm going to mention, as far as the WoW moms, this might go a few people's heads. I know this is an anime that not many people watch, but it is a side character by the name of Ryoko from Parasite Maxima. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about having her on mine.
so you know where I'm going with this one?
Yeah.
For those who have not seen Parasite Maximum, do not get confused with the movie that's called Parasite that got a whole bunch of awards. There are 2 separate movies. A lot of people got that confused. There is a movie.
Different spelling.
So there is a movie adaptation of Parasite Maximum, but it's not the Parasite movie that a lot of people are talking about. But for just a quick synopsis of Parasite Maximum, it is about, pretty much in the title, about parasites who, I wouldn't say invade the planet, but like embedded themselves into the world and stuff like that. And this particular character, Ryoko, is a parasite within the story who kind of brings that question of why is your life excuse me, let me rephrase. Why are you here? Like, what is the meaning to your life and stuff like that? And the parents, not exactly Ryoko. Ryoko is pretty much more so of like the woman who's infected by the parasite, but her parasite's character,
who she becomes,
kind of puts that whole question of what is the meaning to human life and stuff like that. And like as the story progresses, I think her story doesn't really spoil too much, but she gets pregnant with a child as a parasite, and like she questions whether or not if this baby is going to come out a human or come out a parasite or come out a mix of both. And as like her story progresses within the main story, you see this whole like that whole concept of playing with life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, you know, as a mom, you would think like she would have you would think that this character would have those innate motherly characteristics and habits of once this baby is born, but it's like, you know, it's somebody just messing with a toy instead of just taking care of a baby. And as you watch this, it's kind of like you know, wreck your nerves a little. It pushes the wrong buttons, but it does it with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So like I said before, for those who have not seen this show, a nice thriller anime to check out. This particular person's character, like I said, as a mom, while she's in the story, she kind of does a 180 spin on the motherly role, as in like she's questioning why, more so of just actually doing the motherly job. You know what I'm saying? And then for those who have, you know what I'm saying, who have their own thoughts on that as well, let me know in the comment section, whether you're listening to this on Spotify, Podbean, or you just want to hit us up. Make it in the comment section when we post this on Instagram and on our Facebook page as well. That's why I wanted to mention her as well, because she's kind of like the flip of the motherly role within an anime and stuff like that. And just kind of just like, yo, like, why is she doing this? Why is she toying with this life and stuff like that? And it's been a while since I've seen Parasite Maximum, but I know like once her character was coming into play, kind of just like, you know what I'm saying, like I said before, it hit all those different buttons with you when you see the interaction between her and the baby and stuff like that. So I also want to hit her up as well. And I'm so sorry. I know I said that was my last one, but I had one more, and I'm done. My very, very last one, now I promise you I'm done, is Himori Shiota from Assassination Classroom.
I don't know that one. I haven't finished it. It's like I started it and then, yeah, it's one of those animes I just like started and got semi-far, stopped watching, kind of forgot everything.
So Himori Shiota is the mother of the main character of the anime. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to go into of why I put her on this list. She in the anime of Assassination Classroom, she kind of plays that role of a mom who's trying to live her life through the child. And a lot of us who know about that kind of parenting style is not really that great, and it's kind of a frowned upon kind of parental strategy, because she's trying to live her life through her child, but her child's a boy. Which and it
doesn't work out too well.
It does not, especially in this series, because like the main, and I'm not trying to spoil too much of it, but the main character himself, when you look at him, is like, oh, he looks like a girl, and then within the story you see why. It's because of his mom, because like he doesn't want to look how he looks, but he looks how he looks because of his mom and stuff like that. And it kind of just like gives you that kind of sense of like, let this boy live his life and stuff like that, which, you know what I'm saying, later on in the story things develop and stuff like that. I'm not going to spoil it, but Himori Shota from Assassination Classroom, like I said before, another good I won't say slice of life kind of anime, kind of, with a little bit of action sequences and a good amount of hilariousness and shenanigans and whatnot. But like I said, I'll add her to the not necessarily bad mom, but wow mom list per se, because of the choices that she made for her own reasons to her child, which once again, like I said in the previous character, kind of puts that whole 180 aspect of the maternal parenting style and stuff like that you don't normally want to see. But I believe that is a good portion of everything from all three of us. I know Justin right now is attending to additional duties that he has to do right now, so he's not
fatherly duties.
Not currently going in with us. So it's just me and JP right now, I guess, to kind of close it out. Unless he wants to edit this out.
Yeah, I guess we can go and do the close out.
Do it out, Justin. Fuck him. Fuck it, we're going live.
He gonna come back and everything's gone. No Discord chat. Right. Everything's done. He was like, "Hey, time to talk to my boy." What? It's like when you finally can go back outside after you do your chores, but all your friends are back in the house.
No, man, like street lights are on, bro. We're back inside. Like you took too long. But you got any thoughts, man?
On your character?
Just in general, like, you know what I'm saying, anything else?
Oh no, I got everything out. On it, like literally every character I had on my list, I was able to speak about or was spoken about.
Yes, same here.
So I'm actually glad that I wrote as big a list as I did, because I was like, I don't know if I'm really going to be able to get everybody out, but I did.
Yeah, I know. I say that's the good thing about, you know what I'm saying, we have episodes like this, because I know, like, cause most of the time we always just bounce off of each other and stuff like that with the same ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And if, you know what I'm saying, I guess to close out without Justin today, like I said, this episode has been the Mother's Day episode, just kind of talk about mothers in anime and how they impact not only the main character of their respective stories, but also the role they play within the actual storyline themselves. Some having bigger roles than others, and just saying that, like, you know what I'm saying, those who are mothers playing the motherly role within other people's lives, that we all here at the Spice and Ramen Podcast appreciate you, respect you, and honor you. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying, your role is important to any person's life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know what I'm saying, your direct son, your direct daughter, your cousin, your niece, nephew, and stuff like that. Those who play the motherly, maternal role, you are a valuable piece of a person's life, no matter what you do.
Yep. I mean, really, I can't say anything else because it's like you just said everything, but really, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's like I was going to just be like, love you, Mom.
But, yeah, once again, this has been the Spice Ramen Podcast. You know, with all three cast members, we thank you all for listening, continuing to listen. Make sure you hit us up on all social media platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It is the Spice Ramen Podcast. If you put it in, you'll be able to find us. If you need to hit us up for any suggestions for episodes or give you a shout out for our episode, let us know. Hit us up on a direct message for any of our social medias, or hit up us individually. With everything that's going on right now with the current situation, we are definitely doing additional work behind the scenes. Once we get back and once we finish the full year of the podcast, the next year for the podcast, I'm telling you guys, you're going to love it. We are doing a lot of stuff in the works in the background, all three of us, and we are going to provide you twice as much as we've been doing now currently, and we're really excited for it, and we hope that you can continue to listen in and support us as we continue on. Big shout out to a lot of other social media outlets of the anime community, Black Otaku community, Blurred community, and stuff like that for all the support. We've been getting a lot more people. Make sure y'all hit us up on Instagram, man. We finally went past 100 not too long ago, and we're trying to make that stride to 500 next. I think that's our next milestone for social media, is to hit that 500 mark, and then after that 1,000. So make sure you're sharing the podcast with all your friends, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, because I think we've been told a lot that, like, through our podcast, a lot of people have been reaching out to different types of anime that we suggest and stuff like that. So we're glad that you're listening in. And if you have other stuff that you want to suggest, if you think an anime mom was not mentioned in today's episode, let us know, and we'll definitely give you a shout out and stuff like that. If you want to be a part of our,
and tell us what you're watching.
Yeah, let us know what anime you're watching, what manga you're reading. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely want to bring it up. But like, if we haven't seen it, we'll definitely watch it and give our ideas on it as well. You know what I'm saying? I know there's definitely a whole bunch of anime and manga that I haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, same here. Always.
You heard that too? But I think that kind of just wraps up today's episode. Once again, I think we're wrapping it up without Justin this time. So once again, we thank you guys for your support, for listening in. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and any and all outlets that you're listening this on. And we appreciate your support. God bless. And once again, shout out to all the moms. We love y'all. All right, and peace.
See you guys.
You have just been served another episode of the Spicy Ramen Podcast. Thanks for listening in. Make sure to follow us on social media platforms of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And listen to more episodes on Podbean and Spotify. If you want more, follow us on YouTube. We can like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell too, so you can stay tuned to all of our latest episodes. Until again, keep it spicy.